Hey, how you doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today I just want to do a real little short video so you can see the results of my surgery on my Seismic. Came out really nice. Came out really nice. Wipe it all off here for you. Let's take a look at it. I polished the blade spine. Gave it a nice polish. And it polished out real easy too. It wasn't hard to polish. Polished out the outside part of the liners. The back spacer. I don't know if you remember, it has aluminum finish, a raw aluminum finish. It was hard to get in between this part where the traction is for your thumb or your hand. So I just sort of polished around it. And the liners are really nice on these. They're like stone wash liners. When you take it apart, you can see the stone wash in them. So I just polished the outside, then polished the inside of the liners. Just polished the part that's exterior. Polished the flats of the back spacer. I really like the way it came out. This is what I wanted. I didn't really care for the plain. This piece right here is sort of bugging me, the way it was just like plain aluminum finish, and the rest of the knife was satin finish. It just didn't match. So I just wanted to make everything sort of coordinate. I guess that's a good word, coordinate. Actually, I absolutely love this one. And I greased up the bolt with Militech grease, Militech 1 grease. The bolt and the ball bearings, the IKBS ball bearings. I really like the way this one operates. Operates solid. No blade play at all in this one. Of course, then I haven't played with it as much either. Absolutely love it. So now it's pretty. I made it pretty, like I said I was going to. I said I was going to make it pretty. And I did. I made it pretty. Absolutely love it. But this one is the one I've been carrying every day. I still haven't stopped carrying this one. I really love this one. Seems like it's getting lighter. Maybe I'm getting stronger. Maybe I'm getting... my hands, my muscles are adjusting to the weight of it or something. But it feels lighter now. When you open it like this, with just a thumb stud, nice and slow, no blade play at all. When you open it fast, it tends to want to have a little tick. Maybe it's because the deadbolt bounces back a little bit. I don't know, it doesn't seat as far when you open it hard and fast. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love this one. This is my baby here. I love my clever girl. That's my sweetheart. But the Seismic is awesome too. I love the Seismic. So I want to try the linchpin now. The linchpin has a little bit shorter blade, but has like a different handle. And the handle just looks a little bit more comfortable. And I think it has like a 3.7 inch blade. This one's a 3.9, almost 4 inch blade. Actually, it really is a 4 inch blade. I think the 3.9 is the cutting edge, where the cutting edge starts. But absolutely love this one. I highly recommend it to anybody who's been on the fence thinking about getting these. I've seen these on eBay now for $77. Yes, I did buy another one. I bought another one for 77 bucks. Had to. Couldn't pass that up. That's the one I got coming on the way. I'm going to end up having 2 of each of these now. 2 of the coated ones and 2 of these and 2 Clever Girls. I think I'm going to be done with that though. If I get another one, it's going to be a lynch pin. I'm tempted to get the lynch pin. I really like the way the lynch pin looks, but the only thing that holds me off though is that these are a little bit bigger, and the only way, I think the lynch pin weighs 6.3 ounces and this one weighs 6.4. And this one's a little bit bigger, and it has G10 scales, and the lynch pin has FRN scales. But the FRN scales look nice too though. They don't look like cheap FRN or whatever. It looks nice. But I just think it seems like, and the lynch pin costs more than this one. I don't know why. Go figure. I don't know why. Maybe it's just been being more popular or something because it's a little bit smaller. But the weight is basically the same. The weight is basically the same. It still has the same thickness of blade as a 3.84 or something like that. Almost 4 millimeters. I absolutely love it. The Seismic is awesome. I haven't carried this one yet. Why? Because the Clever Girl takes my pocket every day. The Clever Girl's been a pocket hog. Absolutely love it. It came out really nice. This is all shiny now. It used to be a dull stonewash color or finish. But it actually polished out really nice. It wasn't hard to polish it at all. And all these parts are real level too. Last times when you do polishing on knives, factory knives, you'll find that there's a lot of unevenness that you didn't know that existed before when you're trying to polish it on a flat surface. Because anything that's uneven will show up when you start polishing it. And then you have to polish it all the way flat. But this one was real easy to polish. It only took me like, I don't know, about 2 or 3 hours, something like that, to do the sanding, to do the wet sanding. And after you do the wet sanding, then I put on electric buffer and use buffing compounds. And I start with the black compound, go to the brown compound, then go to the white compound, then I do the polishing compound, the green compound. On 3 different buffing pads or whatever. You don't use the same buffing pad each time you change the buffing pad. But it polished out really nicely. I think that's the only thing I didn't show you the other day when I was showing you what I use. I didn't show you the buffing stuff I use. And I don't have a real nice buffer or anything like that. I just use a hand drill, and I put buffing pads on the hand drill, and so that I hold it and buff it. I need to get one of those real nice tabletop mounted or bench mounted buffers. I really like to have one of those. I've seen people use those, and those are even easier to use than what I'm doing. Well, what I'm doing is sort of like the caveman way compared to that. As far as like the sanding though, I like doing the sanding by hand, because I've seen, I don't know, people use the machines like the belt sanders. I have a belt sander too in my garage. What got me into polishing was like, I don't know if you ever fallen on a motorcycle or had an accident on a motorcycle, but you get road rash on your aluminum parts. And instead of buying new aluminum parts, because I'm not a rich man, I'll take the ones I have and refinish them, so they don't look like they've ever been wrecked or whatever. And a lot of times they end up looking better because they're polished now. But I learned how to do that a long time ago when I was a teenager. Because I was always doing stupid stuff on motorcycles and messing up my bikes, and then I repair them all the time. Learned that from Uncle Fred. Uncle Fred. Biker I used to know that everybody used to call him Uncle Fred. And he was like he did mechanic work for everybody in our area that rode Harleys. And I used to hang out with them, me and my buddy Tavo, when we were teenagers in high school. And he was an old biker. Learned a lot of stuff from him. But this is actually a really nice knife. I really love it. And I don't even trip no more on it being a 4116 corrupt stainless steel blade, because the blade is done really nicely. There's not any any fault with the blade at all. It's not any fault with the edge or anything. And the grinds are perfect. It's a really well done blade. I just hope CRKT continues to invest into their deadbolt design and comes out with other designs. And I hope they don't get off into that space age stuff where they're trying to make like fantasy looking knives and stuff like that. Make useful knives. I'd like to see them make useful knives like Cold Steel does, where they have proper handles that are really good for your hands to hold. This one's a comfortable knife. The Seismic I recommend. I recommend both of the ones I have. But the Seismic to me is a little bit more comfortable than the Clever Girl because the way the handle scales are made. This could feel rough against your hands. These parts right in here. And I've been tempted to sand them down to make them smoother, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to alter the way that knife looks. I love the way this knife looks. And I know this is supposed to be a knife that's supposed to be meant to be used with gloves. It's a combat folder. It's designed by four soldiers that are in combat overseas. That's what this was designed for, the Clever Girl. And so I respect that. And I'm going to leave it like that. My hand just has to get tougher, that's all. But I really love this one. I love the way it looks. I love the way it functions. It's just an awesome blade. Anybody who doesn't have a deadbolt folder, I say go out and get one and try it out. Be like me, you get one and then you loved it so much and then you want all of them. But my two favorites are the Seismic and the Clever Girl. I'll probably end up trying the linchpin too in the future, but not right now. There's other knives I'm going to try out first. But these are two that I wanted to have the most because I like the size of them. Both of them have full 4-inch blades. They call them a 3.9, but it's really a 4-inch. Let me measure and show you guys. Find something that has good margins. I need a new ruler. Okay, let me see. If you measure from the cutting edge, it's 4 inches. The cutting edge starts right here, where the finger choil ends, and if I put it right up there, it comes out to 4 inches exactly. Just a touch under 4 inches. And then that might be the 3.9. And then if you go from where the blade and the handle scales start, it's 4 inches. Let's see, this one's the same way. Cutting edge. This one's a little bit longer. This one says 4 inches right off the bat. And then if you go to where the handle is, it's 4 1/8. So this one's a little bit longer. This one has a little bit longer blade. The Clever Girl is just a touch longer than the Seismic. I thought they were the same size. I just found out they're not. Clever Girl actually got a little bit longer blade. But the Seismic has a little bit longer handle. So the total size of these, looks like the Seismic has a longer handle. Let me see. This one says 9 1/4. This one's just under 9 1/2. Yep, the Clever Girl is a little bit longer. It's about 1/8 of an inch longer than the Seismic. They both look like they're like about the same size though. If you didn't measure them all out. Yep, it's just a touch longer. I recommend both of these. This one when I first got it, I played with it a ton. I probably flipped this one and manipulated it over and over again now for 2 weeks. Probably over 1,000 times, maybe. I don't know, maybe 2,000 times. And I was rough with it too, because I just wanted to see if I could damage it, and see how much, you know, because I haven't been able to see any testing on it or anything like that, so I don't know how strong it is or whatever. But I could tell by the design and the way this, you know, the way the deadbolt goes through the blade and into the other handle scale, the stainless steel handle scale. The only way that you're going to get this one to feel is that you have to break something. And the steel on this is just as thick as this one. And especially in the blade tang, it's really super thick. So I think it's going to, and the deadbolt's a thick deadbolt too. It's not no little weak part. It's a thick part. And I think in order to break that, it's going to take a lot to break it. I don't think it's going to break easy. I think it'd be able to handle the shock test that cold steel does for the spine wax and the we call them the over strikes. I think it'd be able to handle all that with ease, to tell you the truth. And you might have a little bit of blade play at the end of it, but that's just because it'll be out of adjustment. And you just have to readjust it. That's how cold steels are too. I don't know if you know that. Triads. If you give them a hard time and stuff like that, the blade will get a little bit loose sometimes. You just have to tighten up the pivot. You just have to readjust everything. But you know, nothing's broken or anything like that. It just gets loose. But this one, you know, both of these actually, I've taken them all apart and I put them back together the way I think they should be. And I put the ball bearings. I packed a lot of Militech 1 grease in the ball bearing area, and for the IKBS ball bearing system that it has, and then for the pivot, I took the pivot and just dipped it in grease and then put it in here. That's what I did. And then on this side with the spring, I put grease. I would just rub grease on the spring. I didn't want to have too much grease in this area because I didn't want it coming out. But I put grease on it, and ever since I've done that, man, no stickiness or anything. Because when this was new, I think it's because of the finish, you get a little bit of stickiness. They're just like you do with access locks. I know Benchmade access locks. If you had any of those, you know what I'm talking about. You got to wear off some of the finish if you have a finished one. I always like the black blade, so I always have to usually deal with a little bit of finish issues. Because like when you get the ones without the finish, you usually don't have to deal with that issue. Like this one was smooth right off the bat because it doesn't have any finishes on it. But this one, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love these. I highly recommend these if you're interested in a deadbolt knife. Get one of these. Get one of these. Get one of these. These are awesome. Awesome. You just the detent right here, the detent screw. This one's right here too, just like that. I love the way the G10 feels. And I think I will probably end up trying the lynch pin, but it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while because I'll have a total when the other ones get here that I've ordered. I'll have 6 of these now. Now 2 of each. 2 of the coated ones in this model, the Seismic model, and then I have 2 of these in the plain. This is the only one that's finished like this, though. I'm gonna leave the other one totally stock. And 2 of these. And this was the first one I got was this one right here, the Clever Girl. Absolutely love it. And since I've received it, I've been carrying it every day. I know it's probably too big for me to carry to work. Shh, don't tell nobody. I usually like to carry 3.5-inch blades or smaller, like in between 3.25 or 3 inches at the smallest to like a 3.5-inch blade to work. Because I don't want to scare anybody if they see it. But this one hides away really nice in your pants. I wear black jeans all the time to work. Like what I have on right now, black jeans. And when I put this in my pocket, you don't see it. I mean, you have to really look hard. And I used to wear a shirt over that covers my pockets anyway. So you can't really see it unless I lift up my shirt. But even when you lift up my shirt, you can't see this one. That's the way I like it. This one I wouldn't carry to work because you'd see this shiny piece. I started to do this piece in black because it would totally blend in with the rest of the handle, like the other Seismic is. The one with the PVD coating. It's all coated all black back here too. All the hardware is all black and everything. That one I could carry to work, you know, with no problem. But it's become a collector because I got these two to carry. This one's for when I'm on the motorcycle or whatever, and this one if I want to carry it to work. I actually absolutely love these. Highly recommend them if you're interested. And that's about all I got to talk about today. And Wild Bill, yep, the 9211 video will be coming out. Hey, Stiletto.